At this precise moment, I find myself standing on the precipice of what feels like the most formidable challenge I have ever encountered in my existence. It is a period steeped in profound difficulty, a landscape of emotional and mental arduousness, and its overwhelming nature stems predominantly from a relentless self-imposed tyranny. For far too long, I have permitted an unrelenting inner voice, a relentless critic, to hold sway over my being, its constant, cutting pronouncements inflicting deep and insidious damage upon the very fabric of my mental and emotional equilibrium. This ceaseless internal bombardment has eroded my peace, fragmented my spirit, and left me teetering on the edge of exhaustion. Then, a quiet yet powerful realization dawned upon me, an epiphany that cut through the cacophony of self-recrimination. It was an undeniable truth, a necessary pause in the storm. I had to step back, to create distance from the relentless cycle of self-punishment, and finally, truly, begin to process the tumultuous landscape of my own feelings. The sheer weight of my own expectations of perfection, of control, of an unblemished path, had become a crushing burden, a literal pressing down upon my soul that left me gasping for air. It manifests as a constant tension, a tightness in my chest, a mind that never quiets. And now, in this crucible of self-confrontation, I am slowly, painstakingly learning that the true path to healing is paved not with more rigor, but with an unprecedented gentleness towards myself, a softness I have never before dared to embrace. This journey of self-compassion, this radical act of kindness towards my own being, feels utterly foreign, like navigating an alien land without a map. It is awkward, almost uncomfortable, to nurture a self I have long punished. Yet, with every fiber of my being, I know it is an absolute essential, an undeniable truth, if I am to ever hope to move forward, to truly evolve. All these accumulated emotions, like a dam about to burst, or an avalanche gathering force, have piled up within me, leaving me feeling utterly and completely drained, not just physically tired, but a hollowness in my very core, an emotional and mental depletion that demands replenishment. To truly heal, to mend these fractured parts of myself, I desperately require more than just a moment's respite. I need genuine space, a sanctuary of solitude where I can finally, without distraction or judgment, delve into the depths of all that I am feeling and work through this intricate, painful mess. Emotionally, I find myself caught in a bewildering, complicated tangle of feelings, a labyrinth of interconnected threads that seem impossible to unravel. It is as if I am at last confronting the full, inescapable consequences of decisions I made long ago, choices perhaps misguided, perhaps driven by patterns of fear or past hurt, and now, with an almost karmic inevitability, they are all catching up to me, rushing in like a relentless tidal wave. Even though there exists this palpable distance between us, a space that we both, with heavy hearts, agreed upon, its impact upon me is profound and undeniable. It is a constant, gnawing presence, shaping my every thought, fueling a pervasive anxiety, and leaving me with an unbearable sense of incompleteness. Sometimes, in the quiet solitude of my thoughts, I find myself wrestling with an agonizing question: is this space we have meticulously created between us genuinely protecting us from further harm, or is it merely prolonging the inevitable, that difficult, perhaps painful, but ultimately necessary conversation that we both know we must eventually have? This profound uncertainty, this agonizing inability to know precisely where we stand, is, in many ways, almost harder to bear than the silence itself. The human mind abhors a vacuum, and mine, in this void, relentlessly fills it with worst-case scenarios, with doubts and fears that are more torturous than any definitive pain. I yearn for clarity, for a defined path, even if that path leads through heartache. Despite having established this quiet space, this agreement to refrain from contact, I am still locked in a fierce, internal struggle, an unyielding desire to express the torrent of emotions that surge within me. There is a constant, almost maddening battle waging within my heart and mind, the insistent urge to reach out, to speak to you, to break through this wall of silence, clashing vehemently with the strict adherence to our no-contact agreement. It is an ironclad rule, yet my very soul yearns to shatter it. I need you to understand, deeply and unequivocally, that this silence, this apparent withdrawal, is not born of a desire to avoid you, nor is it a deliberate choice to withhold myself. On the contrary, it is an act of profound self-preservation, a desperate coping mechanism in the face of emotions so overwhelming, so intense, that I fear they might spill over, uncontrolled and destructive, if I were to give them voice prematurely. The sheer force of these feelings is terrifying, and I am terrified of losing control, of causing further, irreparable damage. The unspoken words, trapped within me, and the agonizing lack of communication have created a profound sense of captivity, leaving me feeling utterly trapped by everything I cannot say. It is the agony of words caught in my throat, held captive within the confines of my own being. This relentless internal conflict, this self-inflicted wound of restraint, is causing me real, palpable pain, and it serves as a stark testament to just how intricate and complicated my emotional world has become, a complex, painful labyrinth from which I yearn to escape. I want you to grasp, with absolute clarity, that I do not perceive this current silence as a personal failing on my part, nor as a deliberate choice on my end to withdraw from you. Instead, and please try to understand this, it is an instinctual, albeit agonizing, way I am attempting to protect both of us from further harm. I am consumed by a profound fear that if I were to pour out all of my emotions into words right now, without the proper internal processing, it might irrevocably make things worse, perhaps even leading to catastrophic, irreversible damage. This fear stems from a deeply held belief that our delicate connection might become even more complicated, more fragile, if I were to express the full, unbridled depth of the emotional turmoil I am currently experiencing. The thought of adding further layers of complexity to an already precarious structure fills me with dread. Every single day that passes, I find myself trapped in a relentless mental loop, rehearsing countless imagined conversations we might have, meticulously crafting what I would say, what I would reveal, if only I were given the chance. These imagined scenarios are so vivid, so desperately yearned for, that they often feel more real than the reality itself. But then, with a cold, sharp splash of awareness, reality invariably sets in, and I am abruptly reminded of precisely why we are here, in this painful, silent present, in the first place. The profound truth is that even though this lack of communication is incredibly difficult for me right now, it absolutely does not signify a desire on my part to cut ties with you. In fact, it is quite the opposite. My heart yearns for connection, for continuation, for a future shared. I truly hope, with a desperation that aches in my soul, that you will extend to me the understanding, the grace, and the patience, the vital support I so profoundly need to navigate and work through all these intricate, complex thoughts that have completely taken over my mind. My love for you, I promise you, is as profound, as deep, and as unwavering as yours is for me. This mutual love, this sacred bond, is a powerful, anchoring force that continues to connect us, even across this desolate distance. The only true difference between us, the sole impediment, lies in my profound struggle to truly open up, to unlock the chamber of my heart and reveal its deepest contents. And that arduous struggle, I confess, stems from a primal, gnawing fear, the fear that you might abandon me, that you might walk away if all the complicated, messy, imperfect aspects of our relationship, and indeed, of myself, were to be laid bare. This fear, a persistent Achilles heel, reveals just how exquisitely delicate my emotional state is right now, how raw and exposed I feel, and how immensely vulnerable I am about the very idea of sharing my deepest, most intimate thoughts. It would require an immense, almost superhuman, courage to undertake such an unveiling. I find myself now in a landscape utterly new, navigating completely uncharted emotional territory, grappling with feelings and thoughts I have genuinely never before experienced. It is a space I have never dared to explore, a wilderness of intense emotions, and despite its challenges, it has left me utterly captivated, consumed, and profoundly, irrevocably, head over heels for you. The sheer intensity of these feelings, their overwhelming power, sometimes truly scares me, precisely because I have never before allowed myself to be this open, this vulnerable, to another human being. It feels like a loss of familiar control. Your presence, your very being, has awakened parts of me that I didn't even know existed, dormant, hidden aspects of my soul, perhaps even divine facets, that have now stirred into life. It is nothing short of a spiritual rebirth. The depth of what I am feeling now transcends anything I have ever experienced. It is absolute, unparalleled, a vast ocean of emotion that defies all previous understanding. The thoughts that race through my mind are unfamiliar, bewildering, and I am constantly navigating through emotional waters I have never before entered, feeling my way through this challenging, exhilarating voyage with a new, uncertain internal compass. This emotional space I now inhabit is a profound paradox, both exhilarating and profoundly challenging, a fertile ground where vulnerability and intensity not only meet but gloriously crash into each other, creating a crucible for profound internal change. Your presence, your very essence, has had such a profound and transformative impact on me, acting as the undeniable catalyst for this internal revolution. In the quiet moments of reflection, I realize now that up until this point, I have been, perhaps unconsciously, embarking on a deep, arduous journey of discovering and fundamentally transforming myself. It has been a hero's journey, a sacred quest. I have been wrestling, with every ounce of my being, with the daunting task of reshaping myself, of molding myself into someone truly worthy of you, someone capable of treating you with the unwavering respect and profound love that you, without a shadow of a doubt, truly deserve. Even though I candidly recognize that I am not currently where I should be, neither for myself nor for the sake of our connection, I am absolutely, unequivocally committed to this process. This commitment is a sacred vow, an unwavering resolve that anchors me. The person I was before you entered my life feels like a complete stranger to me now, an echo from a distant past. And while that profound transformation, that radical shedding of the old self, is undeniably necessary for my growth, it is also terrifying to let go of who I used to be, to face the unknown expanse beyond ego, to experience the painful dissolution of familiar identity. Yet, I utterly refuse to give up, to surrender to the fear, because my strongest, most ardent desire, burning like an eternal flame within me, is to be with you. And this powerful, unyielding desire echoes deep inside me, serving as a guiding light, a spiritual beacon, as I painstakingly navigate through this complex emotional maze. I have been engaged in a rigorous, often agonizing process of introspection, tirelessly questioning my deepest motives and examining my past actions with brutal honesty. I yearn to understand, with absolute clarity, why I might have inadvertently given you the painful impression that I do not love you, or that I do not desire to be with you, when the absolute, undeniable reality is that I am deeply, completely, and irrevocably in love with you. This is not, by any stretch of the imagination, an attempt to make excuses or to deflect blame. No, this is an honest, raw effort to truly comprehend the intricate tapestry of my own feelings and, most importantly, to ensure that my actions from this moment forward align seamlessly with the profound truth of my heart. Before our paths providentially crossed, I must confess, I was an emotional mess, adrift in a sea of self-centeredness. My internal compass was set, almost exclusively, to pure, unadulterated selfishness, a belief system that, regrettably, guided nearly all of my decisions and actions. My heart was an arid, barren landscape. Meeting you, however, has been nothing short of a profound, truly transformative experience, a divine intervention in the trajectory of my life. You, and you alone, have, with astonishing clarity, revealed to me what my heart and soul truly desire, what they have yearned for, perhaps unknowingly, all along. You have unveiled a path that transcends the limitations of ego, leading me toward a deeper, more enlightened understanding of what genuine connection and authentic love truly embody. Looking back at the person I once was, I am almost embarrassed by the profound extent to which I had become closed off, walled in by my own fears and insecurities. You did not merely change my perspective, you completely rewrote my understanding of what it means to truly care for someone, establishing a new spiritual law of being within me. I want to offer you my sincerest, most heartfelt apology if, in my own clumsy and imperfect journey of self-discovery, I have inadvertently caused you to feel alone, neglected, or miserable. It was never, ever my intention to cause you pain, to inflict such suffering upon the one I cherish. The truth, etched deeply into the core of my being, is that I love you with complete, unadulterated sincerity and honest and pure affection. I want you to know, without a single doubt, that I am absolutely committed to diligently addressing any and all barriers, any perceived obstacles that might arise between us. My love for you is an unwavering force, a constant star in my darkest night, and I promise you, from the deepest chambers of my heart, that I will do whatever it takes, whatever is required, to ensure that absolutely nothing comes between us ever again. In embracing this profound emotional awakening, this conscious acceptance of a new spiritual path, I recognize, with clear eyes, that the journey ahead might not be easy, and there will undoubtedly be challenges to overcome, trials that will test our resolve. However, please believe me when I say that my commitment to you is as rock solid as the earth beneath our feet. I am dedicated, with every fiber of my being, to working through these challenges with unflinching honesty, unwavering transparency, and a profound love that continues to grow, deepens, and transforms with every passing moment. Our journey together, despite its current difficulties, serves as a powerful testament to the truly transformative power of love itself, and I am more than eager, I am desperate, to walk this sacred path hand in hand with you, facing whatever comes our way, together. My mind, as I speak these words, is a constant whirlwind, a tempest of thoughts, each one a passionate, consuming echo of you, mentally, emotionally, and in every conceivable way. The sheer, overwhelming weight of these emotions has grown too immense to contain. I can no longer keep this internal storm of feelings, this tempest of my soul, hidden away inside me. It feels as though a dam has finally burst. The sleepless nights have, tragically, become my inescapable norm, hour after agonizing hours spent lying awake, meticulously replaying every single moment we have shared, every word, every glance, desperately wondering if you, too, are thinking of me in the vast expanse of the night. This relentless longing, this profound yearning, has become a palpable, physical ache, a gnawing emptiness that follows me relentlessly through every hour of every day, a constant companion in my suffering. Your absence, like a slow-acting poison, is a relentless, corrosive force that is slowly, inexorably, chipping away at the very fabric of my sanity. It is, quite literally, killing me, slowly eroding my spirit. Every single part of my being, every cell, every molecule, longs for you, and the depth of my yearning, this immeasurable desire, is truly beyond all measure. The mere thought of your return, the possibility of your presence once more in my life, serves as the singular, unwavering beacon of happiness, the only light capable of mending all the fragmented, broken pieces of my shattered heart. Without you, I feel like a ship lost at sea, cast adrift in a vast, boundless ocean of emptiness, completely disoriented and consumed by despair. The void you have left behind, this gaping chasm in my existence, is something I can physically feel, a palpable emptiness that aches with a profound, spiritual sense of loss, a bereavement of the soul. I need you back in my life, with an urgency that consumes me, because the relentless torture of missing you has become an unbearable burden, a crushing weight that presses down upon me, threatening to suffocate me. I find myself, almost involuntarily, catching glimpses of you in random crowds, hearing the phantom echo of your voice in strangers' laughter, frantically searching for any fleeting trace of your presence in a world that, without your vibrant light, feels utterly colorless and devoid of meaning. I am painfully, brutally aware that I have, in my past actions, crossed boundaries and inflicted wounds upon you in ways that words, however carefully chosen, can barely begin to describe. Your silence, profound and heavy, speaks volumes, articulating a pain that I now, with a clarity that cuts to my core, understand completely. I comprehend, with devastating precision, how badly I messed up, how deeply I erred. I am, even now, paying a heavy price for those transgressions, experiencing a self-imposed penance in every agonizing moment of separation. And I want nothing more, absolutely nothing, than to bring this painful separation to an immediate, definitive end. I have never asked for much from the universe, never made grand demands, but the thought of truly, permanently losing you is something my mind simply cannot even begin to imagine, an unbearable concept. Please, with every fiber of my being, I beg you, do not walk away from me. I owe you more than just words. I owe you a genuine, heartfelt apology, a sincere and unreserved acknowledgement of my shortcomings, of the ways I failed you. I was the one who, through my fear and my selfishness, pushed you away, and in doing so, I shattered the fragile, precious trust you had so bravely placed in me. And for that, for all of it, I am truly, profoundly sorry, from the depths of my soul.